Hello my friends, here's Daniel from teahouse for the presentation of the teas of this April 2022 subscription box, the Tea Road subscription box. So I hope you're very well and hope you're looking forward to taste all these teas. If you haven't seen the video before you started to try the teas, I hope you like them very much. So we'll start today with the small version, the little tea road, the 4 teas, and then we'll present the 3 other ones that completes the big box of the tea road option. I'm drinking right now the first tea I'll present, so it's the Shan 2014. It's a oolong from Taiwan, and the producer is Mr. Lai. He's the same guy who is producing the unroasted, the current year Shan himself. That is one of our favorites from the high mountain oolongs we carry. And last spring we bought and put in the subscription box, we've put the ones we chose and another batch from harvested the same week that was unroasted as well, and so you could compare the two, why we chose that one instead of the other one. And then we showed you in another month, probably last fall, was just the roasted from the current year also. And this one was a bit in the shade of the 2 other ones that were kind of fresh, and it's an aged one, and aged oolongs are always fun. They always develop that kind of fruity taste that reminds me of plums or prunes or raisins. So that kind of nuttiness as well, that just goes like a bit like something that just like a wine that matures, that kind of wisdom of and earthy tones to it. So it's really comforting, and this tea, you really feel the high mountain feeling to it, plus that kind of aging, which is really comforting, and a bit honey and almonds and that kind of nuttiness and fruitiness, dried fruits feeling to it. Figs, yeah, even figs, you can taste black mission figs. So I really recommend to enjoy it slowly. Like, it's not a tea that we have in lots of quantity, but if you want more, it's definitely available on the website and in the shop. And really to savor it with a little gum-fu teapot or a gaiwan or something in smaller quantity, and you can rebrew many times. It's quite generous, so it takes the time for the little leaf to unfold, but afterwards, like, you really have lots of taste in that one. So enjoy it preciously, I would say. So after, I'll talk to you about a pour. So we put a raw pour from 2007. So it's 15 years now, and it's a tuocha. So it's a big 250 gram tuocha from BULANG SHAN. It's a mountain that is well known for its really rustic and strong tea, but this one has really mellowed really nicely. So it's really dark already, you see. It's not green anymore, and it's really smooth. For 15 years old, it has been aged in Kunming in Yunnan, and since a few years here in Gatineau, so it's dry storage for both situations. So no musty, no musky notes. It's really fruity, still kind of florals also, but you definitely add the woody and earthy tones that are coming. And it's not a tea that is astringent or too bold or harsh at all. So I really recommend to go like to 90 Celsius to 95, and maybe longer steeps, but you'll have more subtleties that way. And just watch the brews, but it's really smooth and it's really fun. So if some people had some problem digesting or just kind of looking at relatively young sheng pourers with some doubts, or don't worry, it's a really nice smooth one. It's not you won't be able to unvarnish your table with it. It's not bulb that much, and it's really generous to the. You can rebrew it many times. So yeah, I think it's a really good one that just comes out now. So it will be available online as well in a couple of weeks, and but you'll be able to taste it as an exclusivity to start and before everyone. So you can taste it before everyone as a subscriber. Okay, after that we have a black tea. It's a classic black tea. We didn't put that much classic, simple daily drinkers that much in the subscription box, because we just wanted to treat you with kind of really special and funky teas. This one is more simple, that's true, but it's really good to go back to simple teas as well. You have a larger quantity of it, and you'll be able to really brew it many times. And definitely, I'm often surprised how those teas are fun to drink, because you don't have to pay that much attention to all the subtleties and notes, and how to brew it will bring out something really subtle and sometimes too much. That's like drinking a really good wine, like just from the really young and fruity and simple and thirst quenching, you know. So this black tea is definitely the type of tea to, like the British way, the English way of drinking the tea, or the Russian way to drink the tea. So with milk or not, with scones, with sandwich, or just a lunch, or with your breakfast, definitely with apricot jam, toast or something. That's definitely a good tea like that. So you'll see the black leaf has some silver stripe, and that's a grade of tea in Ceylon, in Sri Lanka, that is indicating some higher quality, so more complexity, more refined. So it's one of the highest grade type of leaf that you can find in Sri Lanka. It's not the highest altitude picked one, but it's a really good one. And it's in our current lineup as well. We have two Sri Lankan. We have the Lumbini and the Golden Estate, and this one is definitely the best to my sense, the two. And try to just revisit, if you're not a big fan of classic black teas, just try to revisit with an open mind, and you'll see it's quite enjoyable, definitely. Yeah, it's surprising. And as the last of the 4 teas for the little tea box, and you have it also in the big tea box, JEJU-Do. So it's a green tea from South Korea. Jeju Island is really not far from Japan, and the cultivar that is used by Osulok, the tea factory there, is Yabukita, and it's harvested by machines the same way as they do in Japan, and it's steamed for making a green tea. It's steamed the same way as in Japan, and you really taste like it's really similar. Maybe the leaf is not as nicely made, but the taste is really similar. You have really herbaceous notes, some fruits also hidden in there, and it's kind of really simple but really fun. It's organically grown as well, and I think you'll just be able to. It's really fun to be able to compare a tea from Japan and South Korea, or you'll just be able to put in your resume that you had South Korean tea at one point in your life, which is kind of not so common. Most of the time, the South Korean, they keep the tea for themselves. It's really more expensive there, and I think it will be just a fun. So you can just use a kyusu, so that Japanese teapot, or not a gaiwan, but a large teapot, or a mug with a filter, and you can probably brew twice and have a good second infusion from it. So South Korean green tea. So that's for the small tea box, and if you have the large tea box, you also have South Korean black tea, which from the same factory, same fields, same cultivar, the Yabukita. Now it's not steamed, but it's oxidized, fully oxidized, and it really reminds me of our Minami Sayaka Kocha, the black tea from Japan. We have from Mr. Miyazaki. Same type of aroma and flavor profile, kind of fruity, but cherry tomatoes and spaghetti sauce, like bay leaf and oregano feeling to it. So you have some fruitiness to it, herbaceous, some florals too. It's really complex, and it's maybe this one is a bit more simple than Mr. Miyazaki from Justin. It's not far in a way. When you look, Jeju Island is not that far from the center of Kyushu, so but it's not the same cultivar and it's not hand picked. So that's machine picked, but it's really, really nice. I think that was really a fun experience. It was the first time I had black tea from South Korea, and it's a nice tea. And so those two teas from South Korea are only, it's not in our lineup. It was just exclusive for you to taste, like a guest tea in our for the subscribers only. But we still have a bit left that were not used. So if you really liked it, and the green or the black, and you feel like, hey, I would grab 100 gram more, or I think it's a possibility. Just contact us, and I'll check for you if we have some left. But right now there is. So if you hurry up and you like them, don't hesitate. So after we have a Japanese green tea, so you'll be able to compare it with the other one, but it's so different. We were really in a big need of gyokuro. Gyokuro have been super popular this time, like since a few months, and probably this because people need some kindness and softness, because gyokuro is like the champagne of green tea, and it's really delicate, and it's kind of comforting and refreshing. And so we were almost out of every gyokuro yet, so I had to grab something from our friends Yano family in Ujitawara. So they sent us that karigane, which is like a butcha. So you have the leaf and the twig, split twig, but really tender, because those were shaded during 3 weeks before the harvest last spring, and then transformed the traditional way as a gyokuro, and then stored in those glazed jars, big jars, a bit like you see for vinegar or ume plum or other ferment, like I think miso. I think they make it in there, but I use sauerkraut at home in glazed jars too. And so they store the tea in there to keep their freshness, sealed, and they are in colder conditions, not the freezer, but in kind of fresh conditions. And 3 months later, during all the summer long, it matures that way and creates more umami, more depth. So it's not the same type of freshness we want. It's more like kind of a more concentration of flavor, and this makes the tea to be really, really intense and smooth at the same time. So really fruity and floral and herbaceous and really bright and tasty. So hope you'll really enjoy it. It's a tea that I really, really, I'm really fond of that one. I find it's really putting sunshine in one's life. Like it really, really, it's really bright and tasty. So water 70-75, not as hot as sencha, but a bit hotter than a regular gyokuro, to just dig a bit in the stem part of the tea. And it's a bit lower in caffeine than normal Japanese green teas in general. So hope you'll enjoy this one. And this one we have a few kilos on hand for the rest of the season. So definitely a new and surprisingly new favorite for me. Yeah. So I just feel like sharing this one with you. And at last, it's not a tea. We felt like a bit audacious to surprise you with something that is Thé du Labrador. So Labrador tea. We didn't put in English on the label. Sorry about that. Just noticed that. So Labrador tea is a plant from here, from Quebec, and we know the guy. He lives in the neighborhood here. He's awesome. He's beautiful, and he's I really like his vibe. He's super nice, and every summer he goes with his family, with his kids and wife, and goes northern Quebec, different places, and he picks the tea for us. Like, so he just brought a sample earlier last year, and I said, wow, that's, if you can grab me a few kilos of that one, I would buy it from you. He said, yeah, really? Wow, okay, for me it's really fun. So he puts music on, and apparently he drinks a beer, and he picks Labrador tea for 2 days, drying it really the nice way, and the quality is beautiful. So Labrador tea is not tea, it's a herbal plant. It looks a bit like tea, like the hardness of the leaf, but there's some hairy duvet, as we say here, at the back of the leaf, and the smell is really smells like the forest. You know, you smell like fir, balsam fir, and spruce, and I really enjoyed that, drinking that this winter. There's no caffeine, but there's still something that is tonic about it, so it can be stimulating too, but not the same way as caffeine. And you don't want to drink too much of it. Like, don't drink more than a cup or two a day, because it can be hard on the liver. But it's really good if you drink it on a longer period, but just if you take too much of something, it's not good for you. It's good for your liver, but if you drink too much, it does the opposite. It's like many things like that in life, except maybe love, that we cannot have too much. But the Labrador tea, a cup a day. So the way you can just steep it, it will be really mild. So the way I recommend to drink it is to have a pot, put cold water, put the quantity of leaf. So it would be like, for a metric cup would be like a pinch like this. So if you make like a liter or 2 cups, you just put the right amount, and you bring it to boil, and then you just let it simmer for about 20 minutes, and then you let it cool down with the leaves in. Then you can just take them out, scoop them out, and yeah, you have that refreshing, really sweetish, delicate forest taste brew that is really satisfying, I think. And it's local, and sometimes I just think of having to import from the other side of the world the tea, and yeah, it would be really nice to have just plants from here, like to not have to import from. That ecological idea I have in my mind is to be carbon neutral, but tea is tea, and a bit like coffee or chocolate, like you cannot grow it here, and it's kind of one of the things that is an exception. So, but Labrador tea is it's a compromise, and we just felt like in case that some of you never tried it. I didn't try it since not long ago, you know. So we hear about so many other plants that we say, oh, one day we'll have. So one day I will try it. So this time, maybe it's your first time, and enjoy it. So you cannot make it like in a guy one. I don't think so. You can maybe try if you want. But I think the way that they make it, like the natives were making it here, by boiling the leaf, and I think it's a good way to extract it. So hope you'll enjoy it too, and feel free if you have any questions. If you have, like, you know, I told before, but the shop like the physical brick and mortar shop will close down here for a time anyway, and on June 23rd of this year. So we'll close for a year or a bit so, and we don't know. We'll just be online. So we continue to work as beautifully to supply you with good tea, and we'll be online. But the new crops will arrive, and we have Darjeelings that are on the way, new Assam, and many the green teas are already planned, the samples to arrive really soon. So we're looking forward to supply you, to serve you as we always did, online starting in July. And feel free to contact us if you have any questions. I continue to be here for you, and hope to see you soon and hear from you. So enjoy the tea, and enjoy a beautiful month of April. Talk to you soon.